Hi everyone, Chris Anderson from Mount Comfort RV. Okay, people tell me I don't say this enough, so we're going to start with this. Don't forget to ask for me when you call in, all that good stuff. So, having said that, this is a video we've kind of been waiting on to get this done. We know that we owed you a video from back in April. We introduced the Canyon Star 2021, which is the new front diesel engine Canyon Star, and we promised you a test drive. Well, we actually shot the video, but there was a problem with the microphone. It got all staticky. It really wasn't salvageable. We didn't want to put the product out there. It just wasn't good enough. So, having said that, we've been waiting to get our first one. I'm standing in it. So without further ado, welcome to the 2021 Canyon Star. This particular Canyon Star is a 3927, so this is the toy hauler model. This is where I think the diesel makes the most sense. The price definitely goes up when you go to diesel, and it's fairly significant. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but the spot I think it made the most sense was, for years people have been asking me why they don't do the toy hauler in a diesel, and I'd have to explain, well, usually on a diesel, the engine's back there, so you can't very well have a toy hauler and an engine sharing the same space. Freightliner for years has made a chassis we affectionately call the Fred, which is a front engine diesel chassis. Just nobody's really been using it lately, but Newmar decided to revisit this. We're on the Fred platform now, and we owe you a test drive. So without further ado, let's get to driving this coach. Okay, so much has changed, like almost everything as far as the Canyon Star goes. First of all, very, very little hump here. I mean, it's really a non-issue what you have here. It's such a small rise. This engine just isn't as tall as the V10 was, and also this, we're now sitting about 3 inches higher off the ground, which gives us about 3 inches more height in our basement as well for this chassis. So that's good. We went to the big monitors for the radio and for the television. Of course, we have side monitors and all that good stuff on here as well. New HVAC controls. The dashboard, if I have some comments, and I try to be, I try to tell you the good and the bad. I think that's why people watch our videos. The dashboard's utilitarian. There's just no other way to put it. Where a lot of other development has gone into chassis, like on the Freightliner chassis for the rest of our diesel coaches and the Spartans and even the new Ford chassis, everything's more digital and more touch control. Understand, this chassis has been around, but nobody's really been developing it. There hasn't been a lot of demand for it. So when you look at the instrument cluster here, it has everything you need in it. But it's very, 1999 rental moving truck type setup there, if I'm going to be completely fair. And like I said, it's everything you need, but it's not as pretty as some of the new dashes we have. Same way with the controls and everything over here. Everything is very doable. Everything's very usable, but it is just a little bit more utilitarian. So that's one of the things new for this year. We do have a power window that slides back and forth. We'll see if we can't demonstrate that here in a little bit. Wiper controls, headlight controls, power mirror controls, and all of that are to the driver's left. You have a push button transmission like most diesel pushers. This is not a pusher, this is a puller. But you'll have that control over here. Our air brake, this does have rear air brakes. I'm sorry, it has air brakes on it and rear air suspension on it. So those are controlled right here. It has the foot controlled tilt wheel that we're used to. Okay. I almost think the one we demoed in April had a hand control, but I've slept since then, so I could be wrong about that. Got a center console drawer here, power driver and passenger seats. The furniture is new in Canyon Star, so this is all new furniture. We're no longer using flex steel. I believe it's called Williamsburg, if my memory serves. For that, we have charge ports for wireless charging for cell phones on both sides. So that's something you don't get in most coaches. So let's fire this up. Now I'm going to tell you from experience that this diesel, when you first fire it up, is a little noisier than once it's warmed up. Diesels tend to make a little more noise when they're cold. So first, I remember this from April. When I first fired it up, you could hear it. So let's see what she sounds like. Let it preheat for a second until the wait to start goes out. There we go. All right. You definitely know you've got an engine up here. Now it's not loud, but you hear it. And that will get a little quieter here in just a moment, I believe. Yeah, you definitely know that's there. And it's funny, on the diesel pushers, you kind of feel them start, but you kind of barely feel the engine cranking and stuff. You definitely felt that engine crank there. I mean, it's right there, and it's a big torquey motor, so you know what's going on. This is the 6.7 liter Cummins engine, by the way. All right, Tony, if you want to take your seat. All right, so Tony and I are buckled in. Safety first. Let's try that window. Look at that. Perfect for paying tolls. All right, so that's definitely new. My mirrors are in pretty good shape. I'm going to adjust that one just a little bit. There we go. And then Tony's got a new gadget over there. It looks like they've got some sort of fancy schmancy tablet holder there. There you go. That's definitely big enough to hold like an iPad, that type of thing. So that's kind of cool. There's a good way for your navigator to be keeping themselves entertained. Let's see here on the radio. Yeah, we have navigation here. This will be the Rand McNally navigation here, built into the radio. All right, well, we're going to take this out just for a short test drive. Like most diesels, you're going to have to release the brake by pushing it in, and then on your touchpad over here, hit R for reverse. I got to remember that one. All right, so let's see here. We've got a lot of construction going on at Mount Comfort RV here. So our pavement our lot is being repaved literally as we speak. So forgive the mess as we drive around the lot. Kind of looks like a war zone. All right. Okay. So far I haven't really touched the accelerator. This has just been the torque of the motor. And we're doing about 5 miles an hour here. I remember from my last test drive with it, was actually a very stable, not much body roll at all in this, which I liked. That's an improvement over the gas models. And first and foremost, there's nothing wrong with the gas. The V10s are certainly not the new V8s. Those are nice chassis as well. This is just a little different option for somebody that just wants the torque of the diesel. See if we can avoid the cones. Yeah, we cleared that. Yeah, the parking lots are really where you get a lot of body roll back and forth, just because you've got a lot of changing angles for drainage and stuff like that in parking lots. There's very little of that here. This is just a very, so far, a very firm, no body roll type ride. Okay. So shifting from first to second, you definitely heard the RPMs building there. Like I said, this engine still is not at temperature. Brakes feel very automotive. They don't feel like the super sensitive air brakes, and they are automotive style pedals down here as well. They're not the truck style pedals that a lot of times people don't like. It's already starting to quiet down a little bit. You're noticing a little less roar from the engine up here, but I'm sure when we get in the gas, it'll make a little noise. Can't get all that torque and have dead silence too. All right, so here we go. Very smooth on the wheel. This does not have comfort drive. That's not available on the front engine product. But it is still a pretty light touch to the wheel all in all. There we go. As we go through the gears, we're in 4th gear now. It's shifting nicely. And we got a school bus with some flashers on. All right. We seem to time our test drives perfectly to have unforeseen obstacles. All right, lights are out and away we go. I've got my foot in a little bit. The torque is very nice. This coach is really getting up nicely. We went from a dead stop to we're at 30 miles an hour right now. So I got to 30 very quickly for a motorhome. And there's still some pedal left here. There's 40 miles an hour. Speed limit's 55 on this road, so we're gonna try that out. There's 45. There's 50. Wow, it's a lot of torque. There's 55. All right, so we'll set the cruise. There we go. Cruise is set at about 56 miles an hour. The engine is now in 6th gear, and I don't even hear it right now. I mean, you have to really listen for it. It's only doing about 1,600 RPMs. And of course, we're going to miss the stoplight up here. So, yeah, that quieted down nicely. There's our exhaust brake. Looking for the switch for that. All right. Slowed down to about 26 miles an hour, got my foot back in it, and we're already back up to 40. Let's get back up to that cruising speed we were at. I'll hit the resume button here. All right, there's 6th gear, cruising right along. Yeah, so things I'm noticing right now, again, for the 3rd time, this coach does not have much body roll to it. It is very smooth. If that rolling side to side in a gas coach is what bothers you, this coach might be viable for you. It really is smooth in that regard. Very, very, very little body roll. The wheel's not fighting me at all. You know, one hand on the wheel, it's driving very nice. The coach itself is quiet. The engine is quiet once we're at speed. And so, yeah, pretty impressive all in all. All right, let's hear how she sounds using that engine brake. There's the engine brake on. You can hear it, but it's not bad. There, it's a little louder. I got it up to 2,500 RPMs with the engine brake. So engine braking is just a way that diesels will slow themselves down without using the regular brake pads. It's very handy in mountainous conditions. If you're going down a mountain and you see those lanes that are the runaway truck lanes, that type of thing, those are on there because people tended to overcook their brakes. You know, they would get the brakes so hot they wouldn't work anymore. So trucks came up originally with, semi-trucks came up with what they called Jake brakes, which were a noisy version of using the engine and transmission to slow the coach down. Now they're engine brakes, which are much quieter. They're not a big noisy thing anymore. So, but they slow you down without using your brakes. You can turn it off and on. It's activated by just taking, if the switch is on, you just take your foot off the brake, the engine brake will activate. When it does activate, your brake lights are on just like you were hitting the brake pedal, so the people behind you aren't going to slam into you. They can't tell whether you use an engine brake or foot brake, doesn't really matter. All right, we're going to take a little drive down memory lane. This really is called memory lane, is the funny part. So, all right, so let's check the turning radius on this coach. We're coming up on a cul-de-sac here. This is not a huge cul-de-sac. I would say it's a very residential sized cul-de-sac. Let's see how the turning radius on this does. The gas coaches will turn around down here, I will tell you that. And even if you play a 43-foot diesel coach right, you can get it done in here as well. So let's just take this curve. I'm going to wait a little extra long to start turning. And now let's crank that wheel. Tony thought I had a mailbox for sure. Oh yeah, very nice turning radius. We're going to have 7-8 feet over here left over on the other side where we didn't get close. That's nice. Good turning radius. I would definitely say that's improved over the gas version. Canyon Star is now only available in diesel, so it's not like you have your choice. They've been making the Baystar so nice in recent years. There hasn't been much difference between Baystar and Canyon Star anyway. So this year when they took the Canyon Star to front engine diesel, that is the only option. There is no such thing as a Canyon Star gas coach for 2021. All right. Again, very impressive from a body roll standpoint. I know I've said that a few times, but you know, you drive enough of these coaches, you just kind of expect them to dip and wobble at during certain maneuvers, and this coach is just not. So that's a good thing. Let's turn on some dash air conditioning here. There we go. We do have the generator running, by the way, as well, and it is a diesel generator, but you don't hear that. That's towards the back of the coach, and you don't hear it at all. Can't wait to show you the rest of this one. But I know that, like I said, we owed everybody a test drive. We promised that in April. Technical difficulties bit us on that, but hopefully this makes up for it. The engine is at temperature now, so I'm looking at the gauge. We're up to normal operating temperature, so this is definitely quieted down. We'll see if we can tell any difference in how much noise it makes when we accelerate from this stoplight. And I am going to get into it a little bit just to kind of see how fast we can get to speed. All right, here we go. So this is as noisy as it will be. There's 20 miles an hour. There's 30. Yeah, we're getting up to speed nicely. This is all she's got. There's 40. That's not bad. This is getting out of the hole very well. Okay, there's 45. 50. 55. 90. Okay, just joking on the 90, but still. There's 60. 60 miles an hour right there, cruising along. This is highway speed. She's driving nice. Very viable platform here. And with this one, you could have your golf cart or a couple motorcycles in the back. That would be very sweet. The big color monitors are nice. You learn to use them, especially that right one right there. After a while, you don't even. It's like looking in your rearview mirror. You don't think in your car when you look at the rearview mirror. You just look in the rearview mirror. You're used to it. These kind of become the same thing. Once you get used to that, I don't even think about looking at the camera. All right, we're going to test the brakes. Late changing stoplight. Sorry about that. I think Tony peed a little. That was a late light to stop. So, all right, gets me every time. So, yeah, you don't even look at your. You don't even think about looking at your cameras. You just look at your cameras. Lost my train of thought on that one. Darn stoplight. All right, so we're going to go back. We're going to take some quick shots of this with the slide in, so you can see how much walkway you have. Then we're going to open up the slides, demonstrate this coach thoroughly. So this will be a big video, but stick with us. I think it'll be worth it in the long run. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And any comments you have, we will try to get to and respond to. So questions, that type of thing, you can either email them to me, hit us up on the YouTube page, hit us up on the website, call our number at 1-800-899-6676. All right. Don't need any more of those shenanigans with the stoplights. Now, within a couple of weeks, all of our construction projects at Mount Comfort RV here should be done. The new building is complete and wonderful, but we've been waiting on some electrical lines to get moved from our local utility company, and they were in no hurry to help us out. And until that happened, we couldn't finish the parking lot, and we couldn't finish moving our fence around. So that has happened. So they're repaving the parking lot, and they're going to be moving fence here shortly. So if you've been here lately, you know that it's been a little confusing as to where you're supposed to park and all that, and that's no better right now, but I promise you it will be shortly. All right. Now to find a parking place for this. While I find a parking place, we're going to take a quick break, and we will see you shortly and go through this coach. All right, so the 3927 from the outside. This is, again, new for this year, for 2021. They've added these three little words: front engine diesel. So up front, you will find a Cummins 6.7 liter diesel engine. We're still built on the 22.5-inch tires. These are the 275/80R 22.5s. They are Michelin tires, beautiful aluminum rims. So exactly what you would expect on this coach from that standpoint. Of course, we do have the flagpole holder optioned in, and we do have the side cameras. We kind of demonstrated those on the inside. Big Velvac chrome mirrors as well. As we come back, first compartment is just going to be propane. The second compartment is where it gets a little interesting here. This door lifts up a little higher than most. We have storage down below, but then also this pulls down, this pulls out, and we have ourselves a Samsung television out here. And it's down at a good height for watching TV while you're out here underneath your awning. All right. Of course, you have your entry door. We have 3 steps, and those do come down nice and low, so even though it is a tall coach, it's not too bad to get into. This next compartment, you do have a couple little storage pockets in there, but for the most part, this is our fresh water tank. They have this put right, they've put this right in the middle of the coach where it's going to distribute the weight very, very well. Obviously, water is very heavy, and then you do have an easy access to your freshwater drain, so it's not hard at all to get in there and drain those tanks. This next compartment, that bag down there you see, has your tools for your central vac, and then where we would dump the central vac is in there against the back wall as well. And then we have a power outlet out here for any extra ancillary items we might want to plug in. Of course, with Newmar, you have the masterpiece finish and the flush mount slides. The slides actually fit back into the sidewall instead of having some big piece of plastic that covers the slop. Down in the next compartment, we do have a fully ozite covered storage compartment there. These sometimes people don't get into things, but you'll see just adhesive seals on a lot of RVs out there. This is actually neoprene, not rubber, so they do seal up a little tighter. But the trade-off to that is Newmar doors, you do have to slam them a little harder. A lot of times you can't just flip them. Okay, of course that one locked that time, but a lot of times that won't get it done with the Newmar door. You do have to slam it a little harder. But these aren't some just adhesive based seal either. This is actually, get a shot of that, there's steel, spring steel built into that rubber gasket on there, and it's just sitting right on that steel frame right there. So that's never going to like peel off of there, that adhesive. You're not going to come out and see that laying on the ground. It's clamp ringed all the way around there. Okay. We'll come back a little further. We have 2 nice storage compartments back here in the back. New front and rear caps back here, so she does look different from the front and the rear. The ladder is detachable to let that rear hatch down. We'll come back to that in a little bit. And of course our tow hitch and everything is back here. One of the things that's great about the Canyon Star toy hauler is unless you know what you're looking at, it doesn't look like a toy hauler. You wouldn't, the average person would not look at that and say, oh, that's a toy hauler. I see the ramp door. No, toy haulers usually have those big handles on the back and everything. The latch and everything is hidden back here, so you really don't see it. So back here in the back, we do have our 50 amp shore power cord in this compartment, and this is tied to a surge guard transfer switch. So the surge guard transfer switch will help protect against surges from unreliable power somewhere and protect your electronics in the coach. The next one up is the actual fuel station. So let's say you have a Harley. Well, this coach on the main fuel tank takes, of course, diesel fuel. Back here it has a secondary fuel tank that you could put regular unleaded gasoline in to power the Harley or that type of thing. So you can put your toys fuel in there and have your own gas pump for it. You go out riding all day, you come back at night, the next morning you gas her up and you go again. This is our main fuel fill for the coach right here. Now down below that we also have a storage spot for the sewer hose. That's where we would tuck that in there. We don't want it mingling with anything else. Come back a little further, we actually have a rotocast compartment in here. This is our wet bay, and this has hot and cold water in here. We have a nice hose there to wash up with. This is over here is where we dump our tanks out of this one. Okay. Come forward a little further, you can see there that's basically the back side of the fresh water tank. That's also your winterization hose that's right there, so it makes it easy to winterize this coach. Two more big storage compartments. And then I lied, I was thinking the generator is at the very back. It's actually fairly close to the front, and you still don't hear it. That is an Onan 8000 QD, that's QD for quiet diesel. Okay. We have 6 house batteries right here, and they are on a pull-out tray. And then our 2 chassis batteries are up above that, I see in there. And then even further forward, we have our DEF tank. All right, so there's a little bit on the outside. Oh, trim a water heater on there, so unlimited hot water, gotta like that. So that's just a little bit on the outside of our motorhome here. We're gonna take you on the inside next. All right, before we open the slides up, we promised you we'd show you the aisleway. This being a double slide coach, I would expect it to have a little more aisleway than like a quad slide coach or when you have a full wall slide and 2 other slides. Whenever you're squeezing from both sides, it's gonna get cramped when the slides are in. This is very nice. I mean, you can't beat this. This is awesome. Other than the accessibility coach, this is tough to beat. Okay, there's restroom, easy in there. Okay, refrigerator's the other spot we might need to get to, and that's pretty easy as well. We can get back to the bed, lay down on the bed. So as far as accessibility goes, going down the road, this is about as good as it gets on a motorhome. I know what you've been waiting on. We made you wait till the end this time. Let's get these slides open. All right, here we are inside of the 3927. This is a 2021 3927 Canyon Star front engine diesel. So we mentioned the 340 horsepower, that's 700 foot-pounds of torque. Most gas coaches have 400, 450 foot-pounds of torque. That's a significant change in torque that's really going to help whenever you're towing anything. That's really going to help climb those mountains, so you're going to like a lot of that. As far as some of the details on here, the exterior the color on here, that's called Lynx. The interior, this is Timberland decor on the inside, and then the cabinets are the Bermuda glazed maple with the matte finish. Cabinets have been redesigned this year too. That's a little different than what they had last year, so those are some of the changes. I like the new wall sconces in here. The new furniture, the Williamsburg furniture. This is a jackknife sofa here on the door side and a booth dinette. They both do make into beds. This fabric doesn't feel like your normal ultra leather. This feels much more like a high-end microfiber. I'm not sure what it is. I think it is a vinyl product, honestly, but it's got kind of a little bit of almost a fuzziness or a texture to it that makes it feel like a high-end microfiber. Also new for 2021, let's look up the ceiling. Check out the new way they're doing the ductwork diffusers there. Not only is it very effective and very quiet, the air conditioners are running on high right now, but also it looks very, very good. Now, take you back in time a little bit to around 07, 08 when Newmar first started doing these toy haulers. This is their third generation, well, fourth if you count changing it to diesel, generation of the toy hauler itself. They started with a 2901 Baystar motorhome, which was one of their best-selling gas floor plans, and it was just a 29-footer, had a little bed slide, had a super slide on this side. It was a great seller for them, and somebody got the bright idea, you know, if we took this and we took the trim level up to Canyon Star, we put it on a bigger, heavier duty chassis, the 26,000 GVWR chassis, and we added 10 feet to it, we could put a garage on the back. Well, that was where the 3920, the original 3920 came from, and this just gets tweaked every now and then and just keeps getting better and better to where now we're actually on a diesel platform. So this has come a long way. But my point here being, before this was ever a toy hauler, this was a very viable floor plan, a 29-foot double slide motorhome. Today it is still, from that door in the bedroom forward, door at the back of the bedroom forward, it is still a 29-foot double slide motorhome that is a very viable floor plan. You don't need that extra garage back there. That's the added space. So it's not like you're sacrificing. So many of the toy hauler things out there, you have to make significant sacrifices in the living area of the coach in order to have the benefit of having toys, climbing into a loft bed to go to sleep at night or something along those lines. There's no sacrifices to be made here at all. This is a beautiful motorhome, period, end of story. It just happens to have a 10-foot garage on the back of it. All right, so let's start. We'll start over here. Let's take a look at some of our storage. I'll duck out of the way of the camera. This one, it seems like a simple thing, but so many manufacturers wouldn't do this. They wouldn't put this middle shelf in here. When you add the middle shelf in here, it effectively doubles the amount of storage space you can use in here. You have two metal struts on each of these doors, so the doors do hold themselves up. You don't have to be the one-arm loading expert there. Also new for 2021 are the wood window valances. Those almost look like something out of a Dutch Star, certainly not out of a normal gas coach. On the opposite side here above the booth, we have our Bose Bluetooth sound bar, and then three separate cabinets here. That is actually a Sony Blu-ray player in there, and there's room to hook up for your satellite dish. This particular motorhome does have an in-motion satellite dish in it as well. All right. Booths are very comfortable. The front one, the forward-facing one should have seat belts in it. The rear one will not. The sofa does have seat belts under it. We get back into the kitchen. Here's our overhead storage, and again, they did put in the shelf that is adjustable in this case that does effectively double the amount of storage you have. Now, we have an undermount stainless steel sink with a pull-down sink sprayer. These are Corian countertops that are handcrafted at Newmar. Okay. 30-inch Whirlpool residential convection microwave, eliminating the need for a propane oven. And then we actually have an induction cooktop that is removable and can be taken outside. Nice Corian covers. You can flip these over, and there's cutting boards on the back. How slick is that? Smart use of space there. Okay. As far as drawers go, this one has the silverware divider in it. These are soft close drawers too. If you just get them close, they'll take themselves the rest of the way in. So 3 drawers there, 3 more here. Skinny drawers. They're also the soft close. We have a drop down here to put your little scrubbies in, then storage underneath. There's where our trash can goes, trash can included. All right, across from there, we're going to have our pantry. They did this on the angle. I actually have some good depth back in there. There's a lot of pantry space and a lot of shelves here. All right, across from that, we have our refrigerator. This has the locking system built into it, so you can lock it going down the road. This is a Whirlpool all-electric refrigerator. It does run off the inverter. And then look, we have a secret hidden drawer down at the bottom. Good place for the cookie sheet. Across from the refrigerator, we actually have the bathroom. We'll let Tony get in there and get a shot, and then I'll open up some of the drawers and stuff for storage. One of the complaints on the original version of the toy hauler, the 3920, was it was a tight shower. Tough getting in, tough getting out. This is your standard 38-inch neo-angle shower with the magnetic close on it. That's plenty big enough. And then we have storage here above the sink. Okay. Beautiful Corian. We have an outlet in here. We have storage below the sink as well. Not sure if we're going to be able to get that shot with my big self in the way. All right, and then above, we're going to have our circuit breakers and fuses in this cabinet over here. And then more storage over here. Have a fantastic fan in the ceiling to help make sure we get proper ventilation, but the controls for that fantastic fan are actually right here. So you don't have to be tall to reach up to it. As ceilings get taller, short people get more frustrated. So there's a fantastic fan here in the kitchen as well, but again, the control for that is wall mounted. It's not something you have to be 7 feet tall to reach. As we walk back into the bedroom, we do have a privacy door here that's a pocket door, and that locks either in the all the way open or all the way closed position. We have a walk around queen bed that you can actually walk around. And this does have the lift feature in it as well. There's a button there on the wall that will raise up the lift for watching, raise up the head of the bed for watching TV. Comes with a free fish pillow. Wardrobe-wise, here at the foot of the bed, I'm going to make this challenging. Have a nice hanging wardrobe here. There is a light in there as well. We just didn't turn that on. Probably should have. Because that's a big wardrobe. And then look at all the drawers. We're going to have 5 drawers. 2 like this, 3 like this, okay? And then this drops down. There's our AV cabinet. There's another Sony Blu-ray player there. And then certainly you have the ability to put a second satellite receiver in there also. We don't have storage under this bed. When you make the bed the lift bed, you don't get the storage underneath the bed. There are outlets for plugging stuff in on either side of the bed. And there's a Samsung television right behind me here also. Okay, so that covers really the 29-foot motorhome side of things. We've got some work to do in the garage here, but let's approach that from a little different angle. All right, so as I said, this doesn't really look like a toy hauler from the back. This is very well disguised. People won't know what you're doing here. Even the ladder can kind of throw people off, but the ladder removes by pressing a couple tabs here and pulling, and then pressing a couple of tabs here and pulling. And then you just kind of fold it in half so it takes up less space, and then lift it off. And then there's plenty of room for this in the garage, but for now we're going to set it right out here. There's a lock right up in here. It's going to be hard to get, but we'll see if we can't get that shot. There's a lock and a yellow handle right up in there. All right, and there's a little trigger on top of that handle. Okay, see if I can't pull that down. There it is. There's a better view of the locking assembly and the little trigger you pull. Okay, and then once it's unlocked, here she comes. Now you don't have to worry too much. It does have counterweights, so it's not going to pound me into the ground. Okay, so you're actually, the effort here is pulling down on it, not necessarily pushing it up. So this is a good angle to stop at here. One of the questions I get all the time is, does Newmar make a patio version of this like a lot of our fifth wheels and stuff do? The answer is no, and the reason is this sets up higher than a fifth wheel. And because it sits up higher than a fifth wheel, there's a bigger transition when you go from the ramp to the actual flat floor on the inside here. That's a good spot for something like a low-slung Harley or something along those lines to actually bottom out going in, which wouldn't be a fun scenario at all. So this ramp is not a flat ramp. As you can see the way I've got it here, this ramp has a contour built into it, and that's why they don't make it able to kind of be stopped here. Now, have I heard of some people getting some blocks of wood and putting some carpet on one end and making it kind of stand up like this? Yes, I have. The ramp will hold you, but that's not something Newmar's going to do. So push it down here. We have a nice flip over here. This is all textured, so it's very, very grippy. And then you've got a nice transition. And you can see because of this hump that's molded into it here, it's actually a very smooth transition into the garage. So I'm gonna walk up it here. Good traction. This is over 6 feet tall right here. I'm about 5'9", 5'10", so this is easily 6'1", 6'2", the amount of clearance you have under this bottom bed here. This cushion is used when you make the booth into a bed. So since that's in the house, we're going to put it in the house. This garage is 8 feet wide by 10 feet long. It's not made for hauling cars. I do know of a guy that put a smart car in one of these. We have some photos of that somewhere. Newmar says it's for toys. So that's the answer you're getting from me. we went from, on a gas coach, this was a 26,000 gross vehicle weight rating chassis. Gross vehicle weight rating is the total amount that you can put on, that the axles and tires will carry, basically. That's the total amount the vehicle can weigh. When we step up to the diesel platform, the good news is we went up to a 30,000 gross vehicle weight rating. The bad news is, diesels and Freightliner chassis weigh more than Fords and gas engines do, so it ate up some of its own gains there, if you will, but you still have about 4,000 pounds that you can put in here total. Okay, so the garage, they recommend around 1,500 pounds in the garage is what they recommend in here, and then where you put the other 2,500 pounds is completely up to you. The ramp is not the weak point. The ramp will hold like 2,500 pounds, no sweat. You're always cognizant of how much weight you want over any one axle, and any weight you put back here is definitely over the rear axle. So that's the reason for that. This one was optioned in with the bigger generator, the 8 kW generator, and the 13.5 air conditioner. Okay, so it has its own air conditioner back here. Now the two air conditioners up front are both 15,000 BTU heat pump air conditioners. The third air conditioner, which is the one back here, it's actually up above the beds here, that is a 13.5 air conditioner for just this area back here. We do have a separate entry and exit door here with its own power steps and everything, so this can very effectively be used as an extra bedroom. We sell as many of these toy haulers for non-toy hauler purposes as we do for toy hauler purposes. So when somebody comes to me and they say, Chris, I've got adult children, you know, they each weigh 250, you know, they can't sleep on one of these 30-inch wide by 70-inch long bunks. Well, I completely get that. So I would take them to something like this instead of a standard bunk model motorhome. These are two queen-size beds up here, so you're actually going to have comfortable sleeping for 4 in this garage. This is a very, very versatile garage. So I'm going to go over some of the different configurations with you here. But before we do that, I just want to make sure we show you everything other than that. These walls are vinyl, so if you need to just wipe things down with a heavy-duty degreaser or something, you can. These are vinyl over the window coverings as well, so you do have complete privacy back here. You can keep what's in here your own little secret. We did option in the entertainment center back here, so this is a Samsung with its own DVD player and radio and AM, FM, and all that good stuff back here in this area. Its own thermostat back here, its own lighting controls. So this is, you know, like I said, it's like having your own private bedroom back here. You even have your own fantastic fan back here, and again, there's a wall-mounted control for that. They make this with a washer-dryer option. We don't really necessarily like that. I don't necessarily dislike it either, but here's the thing. It's this big, beautiful wooden cabinet for a stackable washer and dryer. Newmar, as always, they did a beautiful job on it, but it takes a hunk out of the garage, and not everybody that buys one of these wants that big behemoth cabinet in here. So what we did with this is we made this a washer dryer prep coach. We can put a washer dryer here. We're not going to put the big wood cabinet in, but we can help you tether stuff down and all that good stuff, and put the washer dryer in. The plumbing's all here, the electric's here. It's an easy add if somebody wanted to put a stackable washer dryer here and sacrifice that space, but we know not everybody wants to lose that much space for this coach. This also has the multi-track locking system in the floor, so there's 3 different areas and lots of different hooks where you can lock these in different places. Obviously, you would lock down a Harley in different places than you would lock down a golf cart. So that's the idea here is, you know, Newmar doesn't really know what kind of toys you're putting in here. They just know you're putting toys in. So that's the deal here. All right, well, let's see what this coach has to offer. I'm looking how we have it configured at the moment. All right, I'm looking for some pins here that'll help me out. Aha! Gotta love those Newmar guys. They put stuff where I would. So the thing to understand about this, if I just bring these down now, you're going to have 2 queen-size bunk beds effectively coming down. But the bottom bunk has some different options I want to show you as well, so we're not going to do that yet. Actually, we will, because there's stuff on top of the bed I want to get, so I'm going to change gears here. We're going to bring them both down and show you them as bunk beds. Now, the thing to remember with this, first of all, is where you put the button. There it is. The thing to remember with this is the top bed is actually not powered, okay? It's only the bottom bed that is actually powered. The top bed, I call it a hitchhiker. It's just along for the ride, and there's little stops built into the track where it's going to stop automatically at. Okay, so the top bed has effectively stopped already, and the bottom bed is continuing on down. All right, so there we go. So now you see at the bottom you have a queen size bunk bed. Here, about head high, you've got a queen size bunk bed. And then up top you can see the air conditioner. But there are other things we can do with this. All right, so I'm going to try to demonstrate some of those for you. Number one, there's a bed or a table here. I'm going to wrestle it down. That's a good storage spot for it. But I know we want to see all the versatility that this coach has to offer. So I'm going to steal that. All right, and then Tony, I'm going to need an assist from you. I need those poles. You can just set them on the lower bed. All right. There's also a ladder up here that'll be used for the top bunk bed. We don't need that right now. And real close to Tony there, right up against that bed rail, there's a roll of carpet. That carpet is actually custom fit for this garage. So if you don't want to use it as a garage, you want to use it as a bedroom, you can roll it out and make it a carpeted bedroom, which is pretty slick. So I'm going to take the beds back up. Again, I can't just raise the top bed. The top bed is a hitchhiker. Oh, I need my poles though. Okay, I'm going to set these down here. All right. Slow and steady wins the race. Sure makes for a boring video though. Okay, so you've seen it go up once now, you've seen it go down once. For future videos, for future times we have to do that to demonstrate this today, Tony's going to speed that up a little bit for us so we don't have to sit there and watch that. You got to see it. So now there's holes in these tracks right underneath the top bed. I'm going to stick the 4 pins in those holes, and then we'll bring it down again. All right, so now the pins are in, so only the bottom bed is going to move. All right, so now you can see we just have the bottom bed. The top bed stayed where it is, but now that's where we get into some of the tricky features of this. This rolls over. This one does the same. And look at the spot we have here in the middle. So I've popped the 3 little plastic covers out of those center stands there. I might recommend keeping a small flathead screwdriver handy for doing that. In a real pinch, you can use the ignition key. So now that that's done, you take these 3 poles. They just kind of lock into place, kind of a cloverleaf design on the bottom there. Okay. Lock him in. And then you can screw that down and it ends up being a pretty stable table. Okay. There we go. Come on, jump in there. There we go. There's that. Snug him up a little. Now we take this tabletop. Need to turn him around a little. Like this. Thanks for the assist, Tony. That's talent, folks. He can film and assist at the same time. So without too much effort, certainly even having to go fetch the keys and pry those little plastic things out, took us way less than 5 minutes to turn this into a nice, stable table area back here in our garage. So that's a little bit about the Canyon Star Toy Hauler Diesel Edition. We hope you liked it. Don't hesitate to contact us with any questions. Certainly don't hesitate to contact me when you want to buy one of these. And we would love to have your business, and we'd love to take care of you. And all I can tell you, folks, is we do the job right. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Follow our page if you really like this video. Tell friends about it, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. My name is Chris Anderson. I'm with Mountain Comfort RV.